Yo, Gwen is not holding nothing back, you guys, as she's reviewing Sister Wives season 2, the season finale of season 2.
Okay, this was the finale. Okay.
Yeah, but it was quite interesting, and we kind of have seen a lot of people talk about it, so we're gonna get into it, you guys.
Love multiple women. It's not love, it's lust.
If this really was about lust, prostitute is so much cheaper than wives.
That was amazing.
When I moved into this neighborhood, I made myself not judge a single one of my neighbors.
I feel like they're talking about the fact that their neighbors are people of color, and that's why she's saying not judge. Because there's nothing to be judged about these people, except for the Mormon belief that people of color are lesser. And so part of me is like, just say you have a little bit of racism in you, you know?
But first, it is Mary.
And Alma.
We want you guys to like,
Subscribe.
and comment down below, you all. Because I think the first thing we're going to talk about, I would just have to say maybe is the whole modesty thing. Where McKelty said, you know, sometimes she will wear whatever she wanted to wear to kind of piss off her parents, which I'm not shocked by it or whatever. Yeah. But Gwen had made a statement where she was like, you know, I feel like people should train boys to, you know, not be perverts, basically. Which, I mean, for me, I definitely agree, because my thing is, I feel like in society everything is kind of catered to men in the sense of where it's like women are like even growing up like in the household, like I'm not talking about my house, I wouldn't say my household particularly, right? Not to an extent, right? But like obviously we tell our girls, you know, hey, cover up, don't wear this, don't wear that, or whatever, stuff like that, because you don't want to be perceived this way, you don't want to be in harm's way. Like, I mean, like that's kind of how it has kind of been, like in most households, I would say. Yeah. So we never really sit down and tell boys, oh, watch your eyes, or hey, don't look at women like this, or whatever the case may be. Like there's more of a conversation targeted towards girls to not do this, not do that, but it's never a conversation towards the boys.
I think I do for both. I've always done for both.
Yeah.
It's you know, like if I'm correcting my daughter, I'm correcting my son.
Yeah.
You know, gotta lower your gaze. You can't be all up. A woman passes, you gotta oogle her. It's disgusting, you know?
Yeah.
Or catcall, or all this stuff.
All that is rubbish.
It's disrespectful.
Yeah.
You know? And for me, I've always felt like, you know, I always watch like the news anchors, right? You have the woman is there. She has probably 2 or 3 pieces of clothing on.
Yeah, a dress and her undergarments.
And then you have the man.
A shirt, a wife beater, like a vest, he got a suit on, he got trousers. On. Yeah.
You know, he has like 9 pieces of clothing. And I always look at it as a thing of security. If you have to run or go somewhere, it's like the woman is not as secure as the man. And then I always look at like these shows when you go to
like the Grammys or award shows,
the woman is dressed like she is
completely uncovered,
very uncovered,
and it's so cold.
And it's so cold. That's the other thing. That's why I was talking about the anchors, because one day I happened to see like behind the scenes, and the women in between takes, they have to have like a jacket, sweater on, and then when the cameras come out, they take that off, and I'm just like, why don't you just cover yourself?
And now they can't wear a nice long pencil skirt.
Cover yourself, look really cute and whatever, but be comfortable. But you're wearing that, you don't even seem comfortable to me. So when I look at, sometimes for me, when women are saying, oh, you know, the feminist movement or whatever, I really look at it and I think to myself, but are you really free as you say that you are? Because you're not even dressed comfortably.
Sure.
That's how I feel. You're just not even dressed comfortably. You know what I'm saying? Like the shoes hurt. They mess up your toes. By the time you finish wearing all those high heels after a lifetime, your toes are all messed up.
I mean, even
like you start getting all kinds of problems with your feet. Like, what is that? You're wearing that for what? The shoes were designed by some freak man. You know, and I call him a freak because he's making shoes like that for women to wear. Whereas the men are wearing comfortable shoes. Their feet are like this. Ours is like that, squeezed into some toe part.
Naturally, that's not how our feet are
made.
That's
not even how our feet are. You know, but they make clothing The men make clothing for the men that are comfortable.
And then you hardly, you know what, as a fashion designer, someone who actually went to college for fashion design, you will always see everybody in women's fashion. You know who you hardly see in men's fashion?
The
women. Women. You hardly ever see women designers who create for men, but you'll see men ruling the women industry. You know, most of the female designers, most of the women clothing designers are actually men.
Yeah.
Most of them are actually men.
So I look at that and I'm just like, are we really free though as women? You just look at the clothing that we're wearing. But then we say, oh, but you know, this means that I am free. And then you look at the Muslim women and you're like, well, these Muslim women are not really that free because, you know, they cover their head and they cover their bodies and whatever and stuff like that. But you know something? If we go up in that newsroom, we're going to be quite comfortable because we're covered. Okay? And I'm saying you don't see me covered, okay?
Yeah.
Like, this is my little struggle. I used to until, 9/11, and then I was attacked. I think I talked about that before.
Yeah.
But
all that to say.
So that's just my thing, So the whole thing about modesty, and then, she made the comment about, what was it? She made the comment about, well, in Las Vegas, it's hot, though. What I found was when I was covered up and I was out there in the summertime, I was cooler than when I did not have my clothes on.
Because the sun's not burning your skin.
Not burning your skin.
You know, a lot of the Muslim women
know
here
that you've been covered before.
Yeah, a lot of the Muslim women here, but the key in order to not be hot like that is to wear loose clothing. That's what I get, because I know there's a lot of American Muslim women who are in the United States.
Yeah.
They always complain about how it's so hot, but American Muslims, they are more known for layering and having like this really amazing fashion sense, right?
Yeah.
Where here in Africa, it's hot as hell. So we're not really exposing ourselves, but it's also a modest country.
Yeah.
So really, a lot of the Muslim women, you'll see them like where they only show their eyes. The whole thing is loose. So you have that nice breeze, but then also you're using natural fibers like cotton and stuff like that. So really, the looser your clothes are and the more covered you are, you can be comfortable.
That sun will be there, and you'll be just as cool as if you have your little fan going on.
Yeah.
So so I don't really agree with that, Gwen, about that. But I
do agree about is that the whole thing about, because my thing is, if a woman does decide that she wants to be uncovered or she wants to
out here,
that's her business. Even if she's not naked, like, I mean, obviously I'm not naked, but you see my arms, you see a little whatever, right? But like, even if that is the case for a woman, right? Men have to learn how to
control themselves.
So with that, I completely agree with Gwen. I agree with that, because you can't just tell girls, oh, you need a cover, because men have an issue with their eyes.
Yeah.
You can't be the strongest sex and you have an issue with your eyeballs. I'm sorry, that's not how that works, honey.
No, it doesn't.
It don't work like that.
You have to control yourself like women. Women also will,
You expect women to do all this stuff, but we're the weaker sex, though. You expect us to do all this stuff, but all this crap, but we the weaker sex.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, I feel as though women should, one, be comfortable in what you're wearing.
Yeah.
Don't allow men to dictate what you're wearing. Right now, and I just feel as though men dictate what women wear. I don't care what these women are saying. You're out there. Some of them are not wearing underwear. You got to tape the stuff here. Like, breasts are out. You got to tape here. Just, like, it's ridiculous. If something happens today, you got to run. You can't even run without leaving all your clothes behind, and you'll be naked out there.
It's like that girl, remember when Jocelyn got to that fight with that woman, Lex? Had all her breasts out.
And all you do is just snatch one, and you're all exposed.
And it's,
so
and I don't
me,
want to...
it's from that standpoint. I really don't feel as though this whole... the women, the clothing, even clothing for girls. When you go to the store, the clothing, it's so short. These are male designers making these clothing for these little girls.
Yeah.
Like, it's sick. And we need to get more into the industry. We need to have more of a voice. I don't believe...
Like, why is a 2-year-old having her legs showing? Like, that would never make sense to me. Or like a 6 or 7-year-old having her wear a mini skirt or a crop top. That don't make sense to me.
This has to be a whole... This should be a whole...
We're already 9 minutes in. I'm not even talking about the juicier stuff in the show.
Yeah, but
let's talk about...
We'll leave that alone. But anyway...
But that's our opinion.
You guys tell us what you think about it.
Yeah, but let's talk about. Gwen said that she had never been exposed to people of. This is what she said verbatim. She said that I had never been exposed to colored people or black people in particular. I have never seen them. I'm sure there were some people that had some issues with that, but I mean, honestly, if you came here to Africa, you will hardly ever see white people. If you're being honest, like most of the people are mom's complexion or darker. You would not really even see my complexion or a light-skinned person most of the time. Like, it is an anomaly where in America you will see.
And it depends on where in Africa you go.
Yeah,
it really
I mean,
depends on where in
Tanzania.
Africa you go. If you go to South America, if you go to other places,
you don't see a lot of Caucasian people here, so I can see how somebody would say, "Oh, I have never been exposed to them" or whatever.
And I can also see, because I remember when my son was younger, and we went somewhere in Virginia, to my sister at Northern Virginia, and he was a little taken aback because, and I didn't even realize that he had not really been around Caucasians. You know, I had not, because when I had my daughter, we were in Virginia, and then when I had my son, we were in DC. And I didn't realize it until he said something. And I was like, oh, that's very interesting. And then when I said, well, I guess maybe he hasn't. So, and then I was actually talking to one of my coworkers about it. And she's like, and she is from Louisiana, actually, same place her dad is from. But, she was even saying, there was a when she moved to Prince George's County, they lived in a black neighborhood, and we did the same thing too.
Yeah.
Mostly black neighborhood. There were some, couple of, people from other races. But, yeah, so I can see, but he was surprised at the volume of Caucasians that he saw, to the point that he was just like, but then I was like, oh, okay, maybe I need to kind of expand whatever. But I mean, at that point, I don't know. I didn't. It just happens, I mean, I grew up in Sierra Leone before we came to America. I didn't really know them well. My neighbor, we call her Auntie Margaret. She was married to the Sierra Leonean guy. She was white American. But yeah, so I don't think that necessarily means that your family is racist. I don't necessarily mean that, you're not getting exposure. Well, it depends on where you live and where you are. Maybe those people just weren't there, and that's just it. And I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that.
Yeah. But she did call Robyn racist. She said, well, you got a little bit of racism in you. Then just say that. Well, because she was like, well, I came here and I didn't judge any of my neighbors as they have her sitting outside of her car garage, looking around in a judgy fashion. The camera crew don't like you, Robyn. Okay, that's what I'm starting to see. But I also feel like she said, Mormons have this belief that black people are lesser than or whatever. Yeah. So she was like, oh, maybe that's why she was judging them, because that's how she felt. You're like, just say you got a little racism in you. Yeah. Gwen don't like Robyn. That's what I realized.
The Mormon thing, because my mom she became Mormon, and then my nephew had told her, hey, Grandma, did you read this? Because the founder, and I haven't read it, but saying something bad about, black people, and I don't know if that's true or not. I still haven't read it, but for those of you, there's a lady here who usually will tell us, who I think she's Mormon, right?
Yeah, and she's part of the LDS.
She will tell us about it. So if you could tell her, I think her name is Diane.
Yeah.
If you could let us know if that's true and what really is said.
I haven't seen Diane in our comment sections in a minute. Diane, where you been, girl?
Probably been busy as we have.
Yeah.
But yeah, just let us know if there's someone else who's Mormon of that faith. Let us know what is actually said. I think sometimes when you're in a faith, sometimes you don't know. Like, a lot of people haven't read their books,
right?
Right? So you don't know all the different things that were said in there, right? So maybe Robyn has just doesn't know.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say per se that she's a racist. But then Gwen will know better than me because I'm not in the family. So
I mean, we all have our little backdoor conversations that we don't come out here and talk about, so we don't know. But I mean, that's what Gwen said. I would think out of work.
That's what I'm saying. And one of the other backdoor conversations, Gwen, when when she says about
don't mess with rich white ladies.
I was thinking to myself,
that's something that your mama jokes to you about, but you don't expect her to come and say on the YouTube.
It's not everything that you all say back in the room there, Gwen, that you got to say out here in public.
I mean, there are kitchen. What do we call them? Kitchen table conversations.
They're
where you have them in your house.
In the house, you have it in the house. Doesn't mean you have to say it out there. Okay. But I wondered to myself when she said "rich white lady," don't mess with rich white ladies.
Did she stand up for Gwen when she was poor, or was that not? Or did she have to have the money to back her up so that she could actually now stand up for her daughter?
And maybe that's why she said after she stood up for, she says, honey, that's why I let him know. Okay, don't mess with rich white lady. I can see Christine doing something
I can see her doing that, saying something like that.
Yeah, you wonder.
But then you say that
when you were poor, it's a lot of context. Is it that when you were poor, you didn't stand up for Gwen, and you became rich, and then now they actually mess with you because of that, right?
Yeah.
Now, I will feel some kind of way if the person, the principal was another race.
But my thing is, I don't think it was, though, because she said she hadn't been exposed to black people until she got to Las Vegas. And I think she was talking about this when she was in Utah, in Lehigh.
No, she was doing that in Las Vegas now.
She was talking about the principal?
The principal didn't like her, yes.
In Las Vegas.
Yes. So I just wonder if it was someone different right there, it's like, oh, okay, well, what does that really mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like...
Well, she didn't give that context, so we're going to go with the alternative.
What I'm thinking is that maybe when she was poor, she did not stand up for her daughter, and now she got money, now she stands up. The other thing I had to say about Gwen when she talked about the breast, and Gwen, yes, I know now, you say you're bisexual and all that stuff, but it's not. Well,
she was talking about how she was looking at breasts in Las Vegas, and she said that, as a closeted person, that's why she was doing that.
Exactly.
But we both felt like, you said something that was very poignant. Well, breasts are the first toy when we first come out the womb. And then two is the second thing that we get really attached to. Next to, our mother, right?
Exactly.
So you said
that's the thing that gives us nourishment. The breast gives us nourishment. I think there's a fascination with breast anyway, both from men and women.
But it's also a hypersexualization of it as well.
Especially in America.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, here
in Africa, you see a woman, you're not going like, ooh, like you go about your business. She may have her breast
out, or if they're washing in the river or whatever. You're not gonna. No one is there looking at.
No one's going with binoculars to go be some perverts.
The men are also not there oogling them either. It's like we're here to wash ourselves and go on about our business.
Even if you go out not wearing a bra, men are not going to be looking at your breast shaking.
Exactly.
They're actually not.
Like, she don't have
They're not going to go and catcall you.
Doing all of that stuff. So I think that, and I don't know why. It's almost like and sex is so out there, especially in America. But the people act as though like they're starved for it or something.
And that's not even the case.
But it's there. It's out there so much. So why you got the porn and all the other different things you got out there? You got the shows and the movies and the books.
Oh, the music videos.
The music videos, like how? But the way.
But I can see why she would think that looking at breasts will make her. I can see why she would think that because of the culture.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that you're bisexual because you looked at breast. Breast is that child's first toy, right? That's the thing that they fondle, right? Even before they can really hold things properly, right? That's where they get their nourishment from.
Yeah.
That's the first thing they see from their little eyes under there. See this big thing in front of them, right?
Or that small thing,
whatever it is. To the baby. I'm talking about to the baby.
Oh, yeah,
to the baby, it looks big.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Whether it's your chest, flat chest, or whatever it is. To the baby, it looks bigger than whatever, because it's a tiny baby.
Yeah.
But, so...
like you say, we all have a natural inclination to breasts.
We all do. It's a fascination. Yeah. It doesn't mean because you looked at breasts. And I'm saying that for people who are here, who are young or whatever. It doesn't mean because you looked at breasts and you say, ooh... That means that you're bisexual. I'm sure even those who are out here probably who are bisexual, you tell us about that. But that doesn't mean that,
Yeah.
So
Even if you were the same gender, you caught yourself checking something out.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean
but
that.
I think there's this theme. It's like this.
I'm telling you, it's the hypersexualization.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Like, oh, well, have you been looking at girls' breasts? Okay, then you are lesbian then. Or have you been whatever, then, oh, yes, then, you are the, like, we need to just stop. Okay, so yeah, you were that young, you saw breasts, something you've not seen before. You haven't seen a naked woman with breasts and pink
Except for your
stars
mommy.
on her nipples, right? Maybe not even the mommy. And so it's like, ooh, that meant nothing, Gwen. It really did not. I didn't mean you were in the closet either.
I mean, now that she's married to a
but
woman.
now, well, yeah. So I'm just saying that. I don't even know how old she was at that age when they left. But anywho, wanted to say that.
But okay, so what was
do
there
you
anything
all
else?
think?
Do you agree? Do you disagree? We genuinely want to know.
Really want to know.
But what was the last thing? I don't think it was anything.
I think that was it, actually.
Oh, let's just talk quickly about the whole little thing about Robyn telling Mary, because Mary and Christine were really enjoying having the alone time, and Robyn was like, I don't like that you like having alone time. Like, basically said that, and they had like such a stern face. Like, and
Robyn
I just felt like
full of shit. You didn't give a damn about no Mary's alone time when she was in Flagstaff and you all had not seen her for a year, even though she was following your rules.
and didn't even check to see if she was alive.
You had gotten
that
what you
woman
had
could have
needed
been
from
dead
her.
in her apartment for a whole
she was
month.
saying
Nobody
all
would have
that-
even known.
She was just placating Mary. That was it. Let Mary daydream that she actually gives a shit about her, and she did not. I mean, Robyn just missed me with your foolishness. Christine, I can see why Christine was happy.
She taking care of
After-
20 damn kids and nobody appreciating her. I'll be happy to get the hell away too.
And poor Janelle. Janelle looked so...
Like,
bothered.
gosh, it's really... She actually looked... I don't want to say like a ragamuffin, but she looked very rough. She had her glasses were crooked, her hair was a mess, her shirt wasn't even ironed. She's like, where is the real mama of my kids? Because I did not sign up for this job. I signed up to be what was it?
The worker, the daddy of this home. Bring up the bacon.
I'm gonna bring home the bacon, but don't you dare ask me what brand it is, because Christine, that's her job. She make your food. Don't ask me nothing. I just got home from the movies with my popcorn. I'm gonna go relax. Christine, my 20 kids need you. Yes, ma'am. Snap, snap. She needs her hair brushed before she goes to school, honey.
Christine finally had time to tuck kids into bed.
I know. But Janelle's like,
And she
what is
loved
this?
it.
I have to be a mother? I have 6 kids? Janelle was pissed, honey.
Remember what
Gosh,
she
it's
said?
lonely. Lonely for who? Was it lonely for you when you were going to the movie theater? And I was left at home with your 20 kids? Okay.
Remember what Janelle says?
Christine was never
Savannah
alone.
has to have her hair brushed before she goes to school.
I was like, what? That's how I knew she was not an active mother, if she didn't know that. Because that's basic, that's...
But she did her part. They both played, the two of them.
Hey, look, we
It was
always
like
said
they
the
had this
man and the woman
synergy.
role is very important. A woman
Yeah.
can't really thrive and be in her feminine energy if you
Yes.
don't have a man who's doing the workload of providing and protecting
And since-
and providing money.
And
Like,
since Cody was MIA, Janelle filled it. That is just a joke, Janelle. We know you don't roll like that. We just
we know you're not a man for real.
I know.
We know. It's
I mean,
all
come
out of
on,
love.
y'all gotta look at you. We know you. I mean, you're a woman through.
They're
and
most
through,
voluptuous
right?
women
Okay,
there.
So we know this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway, we got 22 minutes. We're supposed to spend
That's too
15 on this. But here we are. But it's Mary.
Come on.
I bet you guys to like
Subscribe.
and comment down below.
Bye.
Bye.